Hey, welcome. This is our band rehearsal studio. I've gotten a few questions from my YouTube friends about how we have the place set up, so I'm going to do a brief video and trying to walk you through it. When we rehearse, I like to rehearse in the round, so everybody has eye contact with each other. You have more cohesion. Everybody's watching each other, but obviously when we perform, we will be facing in one direction. So this is just a rehearsal setup. The other thing, this is all secondary gear, meaning that we're able to leave this up and still have gear to gig with. So, you know, all these microphone stands are all duct taped together, etc. But we take what was issued and make the best of it. So, you know, keyboards over here. Got an Alesis QS8, an old Roland KB300. It's a beautiful keyboard amp. I love that thing. I'm not going to take that on the road. Horn section would be over here. The microphones are always evolving. I'm always experimenting with different microphones and how they react, especially with brass instruments. As it sits right now, looks like we got down our trombone is an RE20 classic microphone, good low end. The trumpet is a 421, saxophone is a 57, but Frank usually brings an Audix clip-on microphone that he uses on that. Simple bass guitar amplifier setup. If you notice, all the amplifiers are up off the ground. You know, if this amplifier was on the ground, it'd be blasted by my feet, and I would have to keep turning that up to get a sufficient monitor volume for myself. But if we bring this up, all the volume comes down. Everybody turns down because they can really hear themselves. All these amplifiers are up higher than that. It's an old classic Ludwig 1963 Blue Sparkle. 20-inch bass drum. I wish we had a 22, but once again, this is the kit that I had in high school, so. I got this mic'd up with a set of CAD microphones. They're cheap, but they get the job done. They're all similar in how they react. I have two overheads, all the drums are mic'd individually. And I also have an AT boundary microphone in the ceiling. We can draw in. I put that on 2 other tracks, so you can kind of add that gamey feel to a recording. It's like it's opposed to eating venison as opposed to beef. You know what I mean? It gives that kind of gamey feeling. Some of the old guitar amplifiers. I put a B100 on this because there's only 2 10-inch speakers, and with a large diaphragm condenser microphone, you can pick up a little more of that low end, kind of tighten it up a little. Obviously, the keyboards and the bass, anything that can be connected through a DI, that's what I'm going to use. Because in a room this size, this is 1,900 square feet. 1,900? Yeah, 1,900 square feet. Ceilings are 18 feet high, so this is a very boomy room, and I'll show you in a minute how I've tried to compensate for that. So everything's mic'd up individually. All these microphones come over and it's set up for video at the same time, so I can shoot video if you want. By you, I was told what it means to be a man. All these microphones come back over to here into a split snake. You know, I have diffusers behind these, etc. Let me show you the split snake. So this is our split snake. So everything's mic'd up individually, and it comes down here. There's a million different names for it, but I call it a split snake. And it just does just that. Half of this will go back to the recorder. I'll show you that in a minute. But the other half will go to our monitor system. Now, I've run into some issues here because this isn't an isolated split snake. It's wired parallel and feeding phantom power from two different spots. I've run into some issues that I was able to overcome with ground loops and stuff like that. So all of our microphones come in through here on this side. Half of that goes back to the board, and the other half jumps out over into this snake, which would feed our monitor system, which is over here, and I'll show you that. Now, I've tried to set this up with video in mind. You can see I got baffles behind this scrim, both here and there. Try and cut down on the ambience. I'll talk about that in a minute, too. But I tried to set this up with video in mind so we can hide all our junk piles and whatever behind a scrim. If you come over here, monitor systems are very important. They can also keep the general volume of the band down. This is the monitor station. So all of the channels that we want to monitor, you know, like vocals, keyboards, horns, things like that, come back through the split, come down into Mackey's tried and true, an old 1604 from probably 1995. Still works. Love these boards. Comes down through 4 monitor mixes, 4 floor monitors, equalizer designated for each one for feedback elimination, tonal, obviously. And then this is Lisa. This is our rehearsal computer, so we can draw up, you know, last week's rehearsal, tunes we're working on, etc. Instantly playback, obviously on its own throttle. And once again, geared toward video. So this scrim, we have this whole monitor station back here. And we can make it disappear. So that's the monitor system. Now we come back here to the recorder. The other 24 channels from the split snake come back down through here, through the recording console. This is a Mackie 8-bus, really like this board. It's had some hiccups, but preamps are very clean. If you really got to drive them, they'll open up, become very breathy. I like that. So each one of the microphones that we have down there is multi-tracked individually here. We have a Fostex D2424, which is digital, but it's very analog how we have it set up. You know, no overdubbing, no punching in, punching out. We could do that if we wanted to. But this isn't a recording studio, it's a rehearsal studio that we record in, I guess. That's how I would explain it. So 24 come in, additive effects, very simple, couple delays, 1 reverb, a depth 3. I actually like that, the stereo return. And those additive effects come back through channels 25 through 32. On this side, we have basically compression. That's all I really use over here. These Personas CL44 compressors are very smooth. Plus, I use the gates a lot, you know, both all the way through the mounted toms and the horn section, you know, in a room this size to try and get any definition or tightness on the mix. You always want to gate that off. You know, that's the price you pay when you don't have isolation booths. So, and this is Julie. Julie is our mastering device. She's running Sony Sound Forge 8.2. Julie's very kind. So one of my jobs would be after a rehearsal, if we're working on any new material or anything, is to come up with a mix that's palatable. And mix that, condense it to an MP3, and then email that off to my bandmates. So they would be able to listen to the performance and be more prepared for the next time we get together. Okay, boom, Julie. And then over here, informational kind of place. We have a high-speed internet, video as well. This is Christine. Christine talks with everybody. We also have a scanner here, so any changes in the charts that we've made or transcriptions, anything, we're able to scan those in and have a digital copy of those. As well as a printer over here with no paper. Oh no, we do have paper. Other thing I want to talk about is acoustics. In a room like this, it's 1,900 square feet. I had 2 linear walls. Sometimes flutter echoes over a half a second, depending upon where you are. So if you notice, I have carpets and anything dense hanging around, between 6 and 8 inches off any wall. This has nothing to do with soundproofing. It's just sound absorption. You know, bringing down the cacophony that is this room. And it works very well. Actually, these just absorb vibration, which in reality turns into heat. That's what it does. I think Tesla said that. What time is it? So, with a room like this, anything you can do to darken it up is a plus. This is another scrim, you know, green screen, looking at video processing, potentially. Hiding a bunch of trash, but over here, I put some baffles in. Baffles in the ceiling. Bring this one down. Go back a little farther. And bring this one down. These things are great. If you wanted a live room, to just pull them up out of the way, or half and half, they're adjustable. If you wanted to record something acoustic or wanted that roomy ambience, you can pull them right up out of the way. Helps tremendously. Becomes livable. Any questions or comments? I'd be glad to answer them. Any ideas how to set this up any better? I'd really love to hear from you. This is Tomfoolery Band. Catch us on MySpace, Instagram, Snapchat, we Facebook friends. And this is the rucksack collection. What do we have here? Canadian hybrid. What's this? That coat. Oh, B149. Metal frame. I love that. What else we got? Slate bag. Ooh, Alice. Love Alice. Okay, 2 Alice rucks.